Hey there everyone, Noir here and welcome to Fan Theories. Before we begin, if you are new to this series or if you haven't seen Catghost, I would highly suggest pausing this video and watching those first, because throughout this series I do refer back to previous points that I've made to improve upon them. Otherwise, let us begin. Alright, so we've arrived at Catghost 12, which is titled Resistance. I have something to address before I get into the analysis itself. Within Catghost 12's credits, you may have noticed that there's a rather familiar name that crops up there. Mine. As you can see, the song that plays during Gideon's scene in the episode was indeed written by me at the request of Chris Patrick. However, I would like to inform you that this does not mean that because I contributed in some small way to this series that my words regarding it are worth more than anybody else's. I make a point of ensuring that I go into any series that I cover without any insider knowledge, so please bear that in mind moving forward. I don't know any more about the series than what I've uncovered through my own personal analyses. Also, I think it goes without saying, but Chris and Alexis, you have my utmost gratitude for the song's inclusion. It was quite a nice surprise to hear it, and I'm not going to lie, it kind of brought an inkling of a tear to my eye seeing that scene. Thank you to the both of you for being such amazing people. Now then, onto the analysis. The episode begins with a coding screen similar to something that you would see if you were trying to load up a particular system process as an example. The first thing to note here is that the previous interaction that the unknown typist had undertaken was debugging Party Country, the same game that we saw in numerous episodes as well as the game that's downloadable from the first episode's description. The series focuses heavily on referring to this particular game, which is the virtual version of the Dark Forest, presumably the same forest that our trio had been trapped in for countless years. Within the version of Party Country that we have access to, it is a rare but well-known phenomenon that the megalith in which your Gideon avatar can ask questions to can occasionally take on a mind of its own, which has been aptly named a live key event. During this time, you have the ability to get answers that are clearly not stocked into the game's code. You are speaking with one of the characters directly. So, considering that the typist was debugging Party Country, it is possible that this is one of those characters you can interact with during the event. Alongside that, the program was terminated before they moved on to the rest of the session, with the bracketed numbers 0000. To me, that seems to infer a version reset, which could signify that the termination is another way of saying that this is taking place just after the destruction of the dimension that we saw in Catghost 7. We also appear to be given more of an idea towards what time frame the series is at with regards to its modern day, which is 1999. The typist then logs into the Talisman bullet board system under the username Watcher33. The closest thing that we can use to link that username to a character is the mirrored reflection of who is presumably Elon from Catghost 3. As for 33, the number is synonymous with superstition and mystery due to its repeated appearances in various aspects of history and mythology. They end up downloading Skinwalk, a virus under the guise of a system cleaner. This event also marries well to the dimension reset, considering that the Skinwalker hatched from the egg that was unleashed upon the dimension after the trio re-emerged. This, alongside the description of the program, may be foreshadowing something far more harrowing when it comes to the characters. The Skinwalker program's job is to detect bad sectors, identify memory leaks, and clean up any unnecessary memory storage. Put that into the Dimension's perspective and you end up at one resolution. The Skinwalker intends to destroy everything, characters and Dimension collectively. Moving on, we see Gideon, who's in a prison that's floating through the void. It's possible that this prison is the same one that he resided in during Catghost 2, but aside from the skeleton in the corner and the usage of notes, I don't have much else to verify that. It is possible though. Beth appears, which elates Gideon if only for a short time, and as Gideon tries to communicate with her, she appears to be immobilized by the Skinwalker, and slowly drifts away without saying a word, leaving Gideon to question her reason for leaving because he isn't aware that she's being controlled. It appears that the Skinwalker has already decimated the dimension, or at the very least, it has left it unstable to the point where everything we saw from the last couple of episodes isn't even there anymore. Next up, we see Nara in a room that's purposefully animated to look like it isn't real, which leads her to rip through the wall and see a rather interesting sight. Thousands upon thousands of Party Country arcade cabinets floating through the void. This scene seems to symbolize two things, at least to me anyway. One, their dimension has become so damaged that its contents and in turn its metaphysical fabric have literally become paper thin to the point where Nara can break through it with ease. And two, the cabinets are the dimensions that they've been ported to throughout every single reset. My guess is that these cabinets are all potential candidates for what could have become their new home, but since none of them are residing within them, it appears that they've broken the chain with the last reset. Finally, we see Elon capture Beth, showing off a sheer delight that their quest for capturing souls is finally over, which appears to have finally come to light. The souls in question are the ones that caused them to die. However, Nara seems to have finally accepted what happened to them and does not want to be a part of the plan anymore, which leads her to disappear. I think that this means that Nara has finally been able to pass on after spending so long hanging onto the coattails of Elon and her scheme of vengeance. But the episode ends with Elon insinuating that what will come next is the final act of her journey. Okay, time for the game, which is called Dance Party. This depicts a scene of Elon and Nara dancing around a campfire. That's all you'll get until you type in the code debugpartycountry.exe, which allows you to move outside of the image and wander around a fragmented void. Within the void, you appear to be able to happen upon various glitchy images, such as the door. I myself have only managed to find the door, but apparently there are a myriad of objects within the area. This game appears to help solidify that the world is broken, seemingly at the hands of Skinwalker. Other than that, I can't seem to glean anything else that may be inferred at this stage. And that is where I'll end this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know what your thoughts and theories are in the comments section, and even if you didn't, let me know how I can improve the series for you. Until next time, people, keep on surviving.